these kind of like block strings that Sheik likes to go through. You mix in needles as well for extra pressure.
Yeah.
Steve doesn't have to mess with that because of a frame-free nair out of Sheik, which always cements that the way you have to then play around your opponent's shield comes in a variety of different ways and comes in with a lot more patience. This is where Sheik can absolutely excel, though. Punishing the Elytra off stage is where Sheik needs to find a ton of damage, because you know that damage can be offered right back.
Yeah, and Senn actually interplaying some of that you were saying earlier on, the aggression right out the gates, keeping Nyx at a decent distance, trying to get the Steve at ledge. Of course, we see Nyx again trying to use his back air at ledge under the platform and get those materials up earlier on, recognizing the best thing you want to do against Steve Sheik in a matchup like this is playing the defensive game and making him approach you, because if you overextend, you dead at anvil way too early. Golly.
Yeah, dash in, looks like down tilt, not expecting Nyx just to go for the jump out of shield, and now you get to see the really, really tough part of playing against any Steve at any time. It just, they're so good at counterpunching and playing the straight hit game that 85% is not enough in order to close out stocks. Just wanting to find an air dodge, ends up getting clipped by the anvil. Actually, no, it was the nair out of shield that ended up intercepting. Needs this stock as soon as possible, and finds it with the vanish. A nice bait there from Senn, who's able to take that first stock off of Nyx and try and gain this damage back in these low percentage combo windows.
I'm loving this early gameplay loop from Senn of utilizing this disjoint, like the needles and the projectiles to try to destroy the craft cable, keeping your distance away from Nyx, and then jumping with low, keeping low to the ground with whether that Sheik down tilt or just the short hop nair to keep the Steve at a decent distance, and now comboing the Steve, keeping them off the ledge, just trying to pressure the shield. Nice staying away from that up smash. Gotta be careful not to get too overzealous throwing that out there if you're Nyx. Nyx, of course, playing the patient game at ledge, almost finds that jab like you mentioned, but not just yet. Here comes the down throw, but nothing off that just yet either.
It's always just when Senn feels a little bit of momentum, when it's a little bit of just overzealousness trying to get in, as wow, making a beat over Oolong 2-1. That's sick. Anyway, focusing on Senn here, it's an instant 42%. This is just the damage you have to take. Tries for maybe a raindrop, but instead it was a reset. Could have been a raindrop on the platform had the NDI on forward tilt to do that, but instead we just go for the reset forward tilt up air, and now Senn with a full stack of needles burning it, but still full stack momentum in their wings. There's that short nair out of shield.
Ooh. I'm loving how Nyx actually using a lot of those materials to keep Senn at bay here, trying to use a lot of those disjoints, careful playing around at the ledge. Seeing again, trying to catch those jumps, using those jabs, those back airs to catch. Senn trying to mix up here around shield as well. Again, throwing on that anvil. Some absolute shenanigans are being thought up right now. Not to overextend just a little bit too much. Senn still holding that shield strong, recognizing even with that small shield, keep the aggression up, because this Steve cannot get too comfortable coming back onto this ledge.
Yeah, trying to set up the block into back throw type of setup, playing on ledge strong here, putting out these nairs. No iron for the minecarts, but as you mentioned in the preamble, Sheik has a hard time destroying blocks, which allows Nyx just to basically take any amount of time to build up iron whenever you need the resources. There's the minecart catch, and there's the forward air after full commit to the spike.
That was the last hit of the pickaxe.
Yeah,
Senn literally lost the pickaxe for that forward air. That was a sour spot there. Honestly, that could have been the game for Senn if that was a sour spot. But honestly, still, great way for Nyx capitalizing off of that minecart there, taking game number 1 in their side.
Imagine if Nyx spent like 1 more second trying to like optimize optimize materials and like mined a little bit before going off. And then the pickaxe broke, and you're like, ah, well.
You have to sit there like, okay, have a fun ride.
Well, damn. But no, we're going to Town and City. TNT on the blocks. It's going to destroy the entire wall and get right in there with the jab. What seems like Senn's answer to a lot of the reversal options out of shield that Steve has at their disposal is that landing jab. But trying to mix in a frame 2 jab, I believe, a frame 3 jab as a answer for any jumps out of shield is certainly not a bad one, but it is high risk as a mix-up.
And I'm liking this idea behind this Town and City pick, actually, considering that Senn lost most of their stocks in the game 1 off of the top of the ceiling, a lot of those ladder combos, the anvil taking stock relatively early, and now we're taking it to a stage like this where you can actually have a lot more value off of those extensions off the side of the blast zones as well. We're seeing Senn now keeping most of this game on the sides of the screen. We're seeing, of course, Nyx, again, like you mentioned earlier, trying to use that jab out of shield, covers a lot of space, and also very quickly to deal with that frame 3 Sheik Nair.
Big old button there, especially with the aerial drift, that aerial acceleration that she can sport. Tries for the burst grenade. Instead, we're just planting a block. So much space on the side of these stages. It makes it so hard to slim down and chase down any characters with good disadvantages, but that's a down tilt into back air. 144 tries for the 2-frame, but doesn't find it. Needles into bouncing fish, going so far back. That's what makes having more needles such a benefit for Sheik. You're able to confirm from so far away. And I like that you pointed out, Momo. These dive kicks are risky, but it's a good tempo changer.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, Senn going full Senn, literally, on the aggression here, trying to keep Nyx from setting up too much. Nyx with the same flowchart of setting up those blocks, drifting away with the jab, and then throwing out a down air. And Senn is punishing accordingly now, still getting it with the occasional anvil. But honestly, that's just rage at this point, where you're already up 62%, finding more extension off of those blocks into the back throw as well. Senn just doing a really good job of keeping Nyx in the blender right now.
And it's important to bring up, Rage Sheik is a difference maker.
And it's gone.
But it's all gone.
And it's gone.
Wanted tipper down tilt with the run up there, but Nyx held steady with just holding shield, and then the up smash out of shield thanks to the missed base down tilt. Perfect stuff here. 60% just like that. The iron tools making a massive difference to even up the percentages. It's just so easy to see why this matchup can be such a problem for Sheik players, because no matter how much control you feel you have, one reversal can mean a world of difference.
Seeing Nyx doing a really good job playing the defensive game right now, trying to catch Senn, getting aggressive, and jumping in again. Almost had the read there on the drift in. Nice guy to avoid the stock there on that up air, but Senn going to find Bryce back air there too. And another back air to catch that aggressive minecart in. That's the one thing. Seablade's getting way too comfortable throwing out that minecart on the Town City platform, and Senn punishing accordingly right there.
Whoa, the double jump fair after those needles. A potentially very valuable extension. Instead, we're just getting a couple flares. Nyx on the back foot, we've seen a couple massive swings come out from Nyx, but nothing is connected to the tune of 63% as Senn takes full control yet again. But you have to get past this point, and you absolutely did. The charge forward smash, not going to close out the stock even on Town and City, but that's excellent drift and excellent control of the game, as time and time again, Senn catches Nyx for trying to play out of shield.
Now Senn playing perfectly at the ledge, trying to catch around that platform. The back air, not going to be doing it there, holding shield just fine. Laying the platform again into another back air, and Senn, honestly, I was going to mention there, if that S-Match did take it, played the end of that game absolutely to a T. I was going to mention the one thing Senn was kind of doing wrong was playing over-aggressive, and I think towards the end of those stocks, playing a lot of those more committal options, like the bouncing fish, like the needles, and then drifting in really like with the drop kick as well. But now, because what you can do with Sheik is utilize that fadeaway forwarder to bait out an option like we saw there, the fadeaway forwarder on shield, backing up, baiting out the Steve up smash into a charge F smash. That's the kind of shenanigans where Sheik has the frame advantage against Steve, where you can actually bait out these more committal options and be in a much better position like Senn is doing right now. Very good stuff, even the stock, the game count here going into game 3.
And an interesting start to one at that. Just we see the TNT placed, and before even the walls can get set up, we're blowing it up, and you know what? The percentage speaks for itself, I guess. Still, this is a rough spot to be. Misses out on some of the block placements for the massive combos. Instead, you just take a normal 73%, you know, nothing too crazy.
Going to catch up drifting again with these backers. Again, Senn playing the very patient game, recognizing the Nyx getting really overzealous here at ledge, trying to make it back. Again, the rising jab instead of the minecart, the jab doing so much in this matchup, but Senn finding a decent bit of conversion there, overextending just a little bit too much over that up smash out of shield. Regardless, Nyx just playing again, backing away, using that minecart and that pickaxe to make some space and keep the Sheik away from your personal bubble.
Yeah, using the burst grenade to hold shield through Senn for Nyx. Senn doing a really solid job of just like taking tempo away from Senn. I mentioned earlier how because Sheik has such a hard time dealing with blocks, you can take that time and use them to mine basically whenever you want if Senn chooses to deal with the blocks. Senn's answer is just to not deal with the blocks. It's just jump over, use Sheik's mobility to always make Nyx question just when they're going to come in and take advantage of that tempo control that Senn has. A lot of up smashes here, Momo, but we're not seeing any of them connect.
All right, look, I understand on paper the idea of Senn jumping around me a lot. Get away. I'm going to swat you out the air with that up smash. You got to recognize the scoop hitbox of that move is a lot smaller than you think. If Senn is playing closer towards the ground again with those short hop aerials, you're fine. You can bait, pressure shield, and get away and punish the up smash every single time. Again, Senn just crouching and waiting for Nyx to pull out an option first. This is prime patient Sheik. Just relax.
Yeah, the up throw is going to do it. The Sheik is patient, but 38% is not a ton of damage. 50, 60, more!
Oh my God, 60%?
All right, my fault. Like, you got it. I want this lead. I want it now. Back air, and that's some expert recognition on the side of Senn there, because he saw DI in not once, not twice, but 3 times on forward tilt, back air, and full sent it.
Very good stuff there. Of course, Nyx trying to take us out early as well. Minecart into the forwarder at 38%. Both these players, no holds barred. Last stop, game number 3. We're going in right now. Senn, of course, trying to keep the pressure up here on the platform. Forwarder coming out, trying to accentuate even more, playing around those minecarts. Here comes the jab train. This could be it if you're not careful. But of course, Senn with a great SDI.
Yeah, having to SDI super quickly in order to avoid these forward smashes gets him out of the minecart. Senn looking to hold back a little bit, just lands with the forward air, keeping as controlled as can be. The down tilt's not landing, stuck under the block. Diamond tools so threatening, but you're burning out so many resources, and getting the burst grenade as a free in, keeping those block strings up here, Momo. Looking for a dive kick.
Hello. Senn, you're nuts. The drift away needle there as well, trying to keep accentuate the advantage. It goes for another dive kick. A little too overzealous. Here comes the raindrop, drop top. Not going to take it just yet.
Yeah, didn't get the full range drop. Instead, just going for these drag down extensions and trying to keep things as consistent as possible. Very low on materials as Nyx, but enough for a minecart. No iron here, and we're using the needles to stop any sort of mining. Just a forward throw. 98% apiece here, Momo, as we get to the final moments of game number 3 of our first set. Minecart doesn't quite do it. Even the powered minecart is not going to power through the blast zones of PS2, but the second one is going to. And Nyx walks with it 2-0 as